What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, with another edition of When, Where, Pick, and Dare, where I pick games for the various games that are occurring tomorrow. Whether it's football, baseball, basketball, basically whatever games I want to pick, I will pick them. With all that being said, on with the video. MLB, Houston Astros versus Texas Rangers. So the Astros have a 52.3% chance to win this game, and the Rangers have a 47.7% chance to win. This is at Texas, and for pitchers, Brown for the Astros has an ERA of 1.48 and the WHIP of .9, and DeGrom for the Rangers has an ERA of 2.72 and the WHIP of 1.02. So it's pretty good pitching for both teams, but I'd say it's definitely an advantage for the Astros. So despite the home field advantage that the Rangers have, I think the Astros, with their pitching advantage, beat the Rangers tomorrow. The Athletics versus the Los Angeles Dodgers. So the A's have a 33.8% chance to win, and the Dodgers have a 66.2% chance to win. This is at LA for pitchers. Uh, Vito for the A's has an ERA of 4.75 and a WHIP of 1.51, and May for the Dodgers has an ERA of 4.08 and a WHIP of 1.24. So not necessarily great pitching for either team, but it's pretty close. So a very slight advantage for the Dodgers, but not significant one, in my opinion. So I think home field advantage will play the biggest role here. And so Dodgers, they have the home field advantage, and of course with their batting lineup, they're pretty good. So I think the Dodgers will beat the A's tomorrow. NBA. Let's see, Thunder versus Denver Nuggets, Game 6. OKC is up 3-2 in the series, and they have 62.2% chance to win. And the Nuggets have a 37.8% chance to win. This is at Denver, so that's gonna play a role. Even though Denver, they've done pretty well despite basically not having a coach. Like they done very well. Like they have a chance to take it to 7. With this being at Denver, you know, I think with their roster, I think home field advantage is going to play a role, and I think the Denver Nuggets win this game to tie it 3-3 and take it to Game 7. College baseball. Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets versus Duke Blue Devils. So Duke is ranked at 20 with 35-16 record. Georgia Tech is unranked with 37-15 record. Although that's what they get for getting upset so many times. So yeah, this is at Duke. So home field advantage is going to play a role. And, so I think in game 1, where a lot of their both are going to be pitching some of their best pitchers. Really, games 1 and 2, where your best pitcher is going to pitch. So I think Duke wins tomorrow to go up 1-0 in that series. Wake Forest Demon Deacons versus Louisville Cardinals game 1. So Louisville's ranked 21 with 34-18 record. Wake Forest is unranked with the exact same record. So yeah. So yeah, ACC matchup. Wake Forest, of course, has had a good team for years. Louisville's been pretty good. ACC is a good baseball conference. So yeah, I think with this being at Louisville, this could be a really good series. I think with it being at Louisville, I think home field advantage gives the Cardinals the win tomorrow in game 1. Kansas Jayhawks versus West Virginia Mountaineers. So West Virginia is ranked 16, 40-10 record. Kansas is unranked, 39-14 record. Very good record for an unranked team. So, this is at West Virginia. It's going to be a big, Big 12 matchup. I think with it being at West Virginia, I think the Mountaineers win game 1 tomorrow. Alabama Crimson Tide versus Florida Gators game 1. So Alabama is ranked 18, 39-13 record. Florida is ranked 23, 35-18 record. So both pretty close in ranking, pretty close in records. Yeah, this could be a really good series. This is at Florida, one of the toughest stadiums to play in college baseball. Like it's a pretty tough stadium. Like I remember a few years ago where like Florida won so many home games in a row. Like they did not lose at home very often during that 1 year. Like I think it was like 2016 where like it took Mississippi State, you know, Mississippi State is what ended that big win streak at home for them. Both games overall and series wins. So yeah, Florida's a tough place to play at. So yeah, I think with how tough it is, I think Florida beats Alabama tomorrow in game 1. North Carolina Tar Heels versus Florida State Seminoles, game 1. So North Carolina is ranked number 4 with 37-11 record. Florida State's number 2 with a 36-11 record. So two big ACC schools, two of the top ones in the nation. Like if there was a baseball equivalent for college game, they'd probably go to this series. I mean, they would go to this series, guaranteed. So yeah, this is one of the bigger series of the weekend. Of course, with conference tournaments coming up very soon, a lot of the final stands gonna be determined, like who gets the buys, who gets the higher seed, and all that. So yeah, this is at Florida State, and with the home field advantage, I think the Seminoles beat the Tar Heels tomorrow in game 1. Southern Miss Golden Eagles versus Troy Trojans. So Southern Miss is ranked 19, Troy is ranked 22. Pretty good rankings for basically group of 5 level schools. You know, well, I'll say you would not see either one of those with those rankings in football. I mean, G5 doesn't mean much in baseball, and because baseballs there's a lot more parity within the conferences. Well, hmm, in comparison to like football, basketball has the most parity, but baseball is somewhere in the middle. So both these are good teams. I mean, to stay in Mississippi is pretty good in baseball with Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Southern Miss, being some good contenders. Troy, I guess they're playing well. So this is at Troy, and I'm not too familiar with these two teams. I'd say with it being at Troy, I would say they'd win game 1 tomorrow. Notre Dame Fighting Irish versus Miami Hurricanes. So both teams are unranked. Notre Dame has a 30-19 record, and Miami has a 30-21 record. So this could be a really good series. Both are really good baseball schools. Both probably have a decent chance of making the NCAA tournament. Miami be one of the biggest baseball, you know, cities in the nation. You know, they have a good baseball scene out there and a really good team. I think with it being at Miami, I think the home field advantage, which is a significant home field advantage, gives the Hurricanes to win tomorrow in game 1. Oregon Ducks versus Iowa Hawkeyes game 1. So Oregon's ranked number 5 with a 38-13 record, and Iowa's unranked with a 32-17-1 record. Yeah, I didn't know baseball did ties in college. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a tie. Either there was a rainout or something that was suspended or canceled games, a special circumstance, or they still allow ties. I don't know. It's weird. Yeah. So I'm like, just finish the game. Anyway, so this is at Iowa, so home field advantage maybe play a role. I don't know how big Iowa's fan base is. It's probably not too big, especially for baseball. So I'd say Oregon with the big ranking difference. I think Oregon wins game one tomorrow against Iowa. Texas Longhorns versus Oklahoma Sooners, game one. All right, Red River rivalry for baseball. So Texas is number 3 with a 40-10 record. Oklahoma is unranked, 32-17 record. Decent, good record for a unranked team. So it says at Oklahoma, so that could make things interesting for Texas. But I think with how good Texas has been playing, they're ranked number 3 for a reason. I think they beat Oklahoma in game one tomorrow. Auburn Tigers versus Ole Miss Rebels. Game one. So Auburn's ranked number 6 with a 37-15 record. Ole Miss is unranked with a 35-17 record. Yeah, they've had some upsets. That's the only reason they're unranked. This is at Ole Miss, a tough place to play. Like the Mississippi school, like SEC schools are tough places to play. So I'd say, yeah, but Auburn is ranked number 6. I think Ole Miss, with some of the issues they've had against some of the really good teams, and Auburn being ranked number 6, I think Auburn wins game one tomorrow to go ahead in the series. Tennessee Volunteers versus Arkansas Razorbacks, game one. Tennessee is ranked 17, 40-13 record. Arkansas is 8 with a 41-11 record. This is at Arkansas, tough place to play in. One of the bigger SEC baseball schools. Both are actually gotten pretty big. Tennessee probably has one of the biggest rises in recent years. So yeah, at Arkansas, you know, this is this could be big serious. With he's done well. Like he was, Tony Vitello, the head coach for Tennessee, was an assistant at Arkansas before he was the head coach of Tennessee. During some of Arkansas's really good years. So yeah, I think this could be a really good series. I think Arkansas wins game one tomorrow. And that's it for picks. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to my picks. Do you agree with them? Do you not? If you have different picks, you can put them in the comments. But other than that, please like, subscribe, and all that. Thank you for listening, and look forward to the next video.